Beautiful day, beautiful soul, and welcome back to Love, Peace, and Happiness Tarot. Coming to you live from Las Vegas, Nevada. I go by Melinda NailFanatic, and I'm here to do this personal reading for Rochna. And so I'm going to give her a call and let her know that we're ready to start her reading. If you want a reading like this, go to my website. We can make that happen. At any point, we can make that happen. Okay. I get, just so you know, for those of you who are getting your readings with me personally, I try to get the readings done right away. Hello, Rochna. Hi. Did I say your name right, Rochna?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. I'm so thankful and grateful for this opportunity to read for you. We are live with the tribe here on YouTube. And the reason why I like doing the readings live is because, you know, what I guess your reading is starting now with channel messages. They say, you know, none of us are ever so alone that we're the only one experiencing what we're experiencing. And so when we share our personal reading live like this and allow others to view what's going on, they'll find resonance with the messages too. And that's kind of how the general readings work, is that none of us are ever alone. We're always united. We are one humanity in some sort of way. And that's actually what helps me to be able to channel in and get these messages delivered for you all. So I saw that you had some things going on your mind. How did you find the channel? I'm so curious.
Honestly, it was one random night, and I couldn't sleep. And then I saw that you were doing tarot readings. Nice. And I was like, maybe this is why I can't sleep.
Awesome. I love. How awesome is that? So everything works by divine design. And if the channel's been helpful to you in any type of way, then that definitely would be at least one of the reasons why you couldn't sleep that night. So, all right. So we're going to get into your reading now. When you started off in your email to me, you talked about not feeling like you couldn't concentrate. So I feel like let's pull a card from the Akashic Tarot to see what's happening in your energy. Okay. So we're going to get some shuffles here on the Akashic Tarot. I kind of was guided to do your reading along the format of how I do all the readings lately, which is weird because I used to do every reading so different. The format and layout was always different, but there's like this standardization that's happening right now in the show, and it's coming through again, and it was coming through before. This has something to do with your concentration, and it also has something to do with the fact that everything on the show is following like a format at this point. It is an energy. So an energy that is on Earth, it's a dominant energy. It's like, I hear fall in line. I heard fall in line with spirit, though. It's like fall in line with spirit. So can't concentrate. Let's see what's going on with you. Can't concentrate. What is happening with Rochna? So she is having challenges concentrating, and this is your card. What do we have? Up, the King of Keys. The King of Keys comes out for you. What's the origin of your name? I've heard a lot of names, and I have never heard your name before. Where does that name come from?
I have no idea, but I'm Haitian.
Oh, so. Nice. Okay, awesome. You know what? That makes me want to look it up. Hold on, I'm gonna do some research on you right now, girl. For some reason, it's strong. I can't let it go. Like, where is the definition? Rochna name. I should have spoke this out to the phone instead of trying to type it. Origin. I'm so glad you had time available right now too, so we could get your reading in right away. Okay, according to a user from India, the name Rochna is of English origin and means the first ray of the sun. It's a Bengali literary term described by a poet. So, a Bengali literary term described by a poet. meaning the first ray of the sun, the first ray of the sun, the first ray of the sun, that's big. The first ray of the sun is like, the first ray of the sun is the first shining of the sunlight, and the sunlight, and I'm getting the sun rising. So your name alone talks about your psychic abilities. It talks about your spiritual awakening. So for whatever reason, you need to know that. Like I get within your name, it's something about a very powerful and strong spiritual awakening that is coming through you in this life. So to me, that's very interesting. I hope it's as interesting to you.
Wait, you said psychic ability?
Yes. So you also asked about if you're psychic. That definitely, immediately when I read that, yes, we are all psychic. All humans are psychic to varying degrees. Some of us are unawakened psychics. Some of us are fully awakened psychics. Some of us are in some middle phase. So anytime you had the idea to say something to someone and it was just what they needed to hear, anytime you had the thought of somebody and then all of a sudden they showed up in your face or they called or you heard about them in some sort of way, that was an example of your psychic. Anytime you had the idea, well, maybe I should go this way today, and then you kept going the same way and you ended up in a crazy ass traffic jam, that was your psychic letting you know. That was your inner voice speaking and you were hearing it. But because you're not trained to be obedient to it, you're not trained in what it sounds like, so you think it's just some thought you had, and then, oh, wow, that's crazy. That actually happened. It's just some crazy thing that happened. And it's wild and it's unbelievable and stuff like that. It happens to us all the time. But what that actually is we are hearing our psychic voice. We're just not familiar with its sound, so to speak. Does that make sense?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So your first card out was the King of Keys. Let's see what it says. Let me put this here. Okay. So the King of Keys rides a splendid horse toward a great castle in the distance. He is happy and at ease as he travels home. This is an entrepreneurial man with civil or commercial authority. He is confident, astute, and perhaps overly focused on his work or career. Though he can be very thoughtful and helpful to you in business or financial matters, he is often more goal-oriented than people-oriented. Keep this in mind if this man turns out to be a love interest for you or another. Whether the King of Keys represents you or another, be on the lookout for a major promotion, a heightening of income, or a furthering of career achievements. Careers in finance, real estate, and business are typical for the King of Keys, but management in any industry can be forthcoming. This may also be a good time for self-employment and business expansion for you or a man in your life. Now, I'm going to read the reverse because I'm guided to. So with this card reversed, you may have some difficulties with a man at work. There could also be a loss of job or a distancing in a relationship for you or for a man you know. The success you seek may be eluding you right now, or you may be making a great effort without seeing it pay off. At this time, focus on understanding how your life's purpose can complement your career directives. Excuse me. When you have clarity on that, you will know what actions to take. Whether you are a man or a woman, the King of Keys reversed might indicate a man of commerce who is stepping away from work or who is not available to you. Special note. Hold on a second. No, we're not going to read that part. It doesn't apply. Close your eyes and feel yourself step into an important position of power and wealth. You become the King of Keys and you feel yourself strengthen, straighten, and lift with a new strength and authority. As you survey your world, decide which part of your life you would like to approach with a greater sense of rulership. So what I'm getting in reading that for you is like I really feel like there's this calling on your spirit to do something different in regards to, it could be in regards to your career, but I just feel like there's this call on your spirit. I feel like there's this calling on you. And this calling has to do with melding your purpose and your career life into one. Okay. So quickly, give me an idea of what actually is going on with you in your career at this time. Is everything stable? Is there something in flux? Are you dealing with a person in your career? Is there a man in your career in a position of authority who's either giving you more responsibilities and opportunities, or do you feel like some has been removed? What's happening in your career, babe?
So career-wise, I haven't started. I graduate at the end of this month.
Okay.
And yeah, I just haven't started. I don't even think like the career that I'm in is what I want to actually do, but I'm just doing it.
Okay. All right. So I feel like that has a lot to do with the feeling like you can't concentrate, because you just said you don't even feel like the career that you're getting in, you're about to graduate to do, is what you really want to do. So there is something that you really want to do. Have you identified what that is? Do you have a feeling of what that is?
I just know that I want to help people. That's
Beautiful.
it. I just know I'm a really good talker and people tend to listen to me, and that's all I know.
Okay. All right. So the concentration, it is a little bit scattered because you're looking to fill in that information right now. What is it that I really want to do? How can I be of service? Because I love talking. I'm really good at it. People respond well when I talk, and I want to be of service. I want to be a helpful person. So there's something here about you. It's like you're drawing that energy in, and that has to do with your concentration. The other thing here is the King of Keys. Is this about you wanting to have, yeah, it is. They say, yeah, it is. This is about you wanting to have a connection with a person in your life very strongly. You're ready to start a connection. I know the book didn't talk about it, but this is what I'm getting. That you're ready to start a connection with somebody, and you're ready for a solid and stable offer. That's a big influence in your energy as well. So we're going to dig a little bit more into that, because you mentioned something about having a girl on your mind in your email to me. Do you want to talk more about that real quick?
Yeah, please.
Okay. All right. So I'm being guided to pull out the Muse Tarot. Let's go ahead and take a look at the energy between you and this girl that's on your mind. Okay. There's a girl on Rochna's mind. Let's see what is the message for Rochna about this girl, please and thank you. So I'm doing like the full shuffle. I know I'm not saying it out loud because my mouth was doing other things, but the whole like spiel is going on about the connections. Everything is coming together really smoothly. I hear everything is coming together really smoothly. I also hear sometimes it doesn't feel like that, but I'm hearing, remember the universe is working things in your favor that you're unaware of. Okay, so let's see what's going on with you and the girl that's been on your mind. So in your position, you're showing up with the 5 of inspiration. In the energy of the connection together is the 5 of emotions. And the energy of the girl towards you, we have the Muse of voices. What you need to know is the Lover's card. And the guidance for you is the Tower. Okay. The bottom of the deck. Do you happen to know this girl's zodiac sign?
Actually, I looked it up.
Uh-huh.
I think it might be a Pisces. Let me just confirm really fast.
Okay. All right. So the bottom of the deck, we have the 8 of emotions. So it looks like this girl, First off, what you need to understand.
She's a Capricorn. I'm sorry.
Oh, she's a Capricorn? Okay. All right. So what you need to understand about the attractions, because you also mentioned sometimes you feel like your judgment is off when you think somebody's into you, and then you feel like your judgment turns out to be off in those experiences. Okay. Your connection to this girl has to do a lot with the emotional changes you're going through. Okay, there is a spiritual connection to this girl. That's why she's on your mind. Okay, I do feel like she's thinking about you too. I do feel like she wants to talk to you. Okay, I don't feel a lot of like insane passion or anything here, but here's the thing. I feel like she's part of your spiritual awakening, and I feel like that's what's been going on with your feeling like somebody's attracted to you, but they're not really into you. At the end of the day, your judgment is, honey, your judgment isn't off. So we get mistaken. We think that the feelings that when we're drawn to someone are always because, oh, maybe this is my forever, and maybe this is the one for me and stuff like that, right? Maybe this is my soulmate, my lover, blah, 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 fill in the blanks. We all do it. But if you will begin to understand that the attraction that you feel for other people is a calling on your spirit, okay, and God feels like love because God is love. Anybody who ever went to church has heard that 100 million times. God is love. And so when God is calling your heart to something, it's going to feel like love. But it doesn't always mean that it's the kind of romantic, sexual, eros love that we're thinking about. So sometimes these attractions that you feel, this is going to answer both about what's going on with the girl, and it's going to answer about what's going on with your quote unquote judgment being off. It's not always for that romantic experience. Many times we are attracted to ones just for the awakening that's happening. And that's what I see with this girl, because the Tower is guidance. The Tower is an energy where fake ideas, false ideas, they fall off. Is where what's not real is shattered so that the truth can come through. And the energy of the connection, in other words, what's drawing you to her and her to you right now is the 5 of emotions. The 5 of emotions is emotional restructuring. It's change of emotions. It's a need to let go of the love that's been lost because there's more love in this life for you. It's emotional changes. That's the draw. That's the state of the connection right now between the two of you. Now, her on her side showing up as the Muse of Voices. The Muse of Voices is King of Swords energy. And immediately I saw emotionally detached. Do you feel like you've had a history of attracting partners who are emotionally unavailable?
Every single one.
Yeah. And it's still happening again. And in this image, I love it because there's all these windows, right? But there's all these different women hanging out here. And these windows look like mirrors to me. They're actually windows and you can see the sky outside, but they look like frames for mirrors. Okay, so with you, you're attracted to her, but there are doubts in you and all of these different things that are trying to come up. So in this connection with her is to help you see the light with the Lover's card. Yes, God is bringing you here. Both of you have some sort of thing going on in your vibration where you're attracting people who are emotionally unavailable or want too much in her case. Like she's not ready. Her heart is kind of cold right now. So on her side of the table, you could be coming in there to help break that heart open. On your side of the table, what you're looking at is what is it that you're holding on to in your energy that's having you repeatedly attract people who are emotionally unavailable for you? And so that begs the question, where are you emotionally unavailable for yourself? And I'm hearing, and that's evident because you asked the question, am I psychic? So that's with that you're saying, I don't know myself enough emotionally to hear and trust that I do have that direct connection to a source, which is impossible for us to remove. We're all directly connected to what God is. Impossible to remove. So in this connection, I feel like if you have the opportunity to spend some time with her, get to know her a little bit, it would be really good to do it from the mindset of this is like a class setting. This is a lecture series that you're attending or something like that. Does that make sense to you?
I want to say yes, but I don't know.
Okay. All right. You want to say yes, but you don't know. So let me dig a little bit deeper and clarify that better for you. This attraction with this person who's on your mind has information within it. While talking to her and connecting with her, what you're going to experience, honestly, is a need to walk away. But it's important for you to do the walking away. It's important for you to learn what is it that you're walking away from and why. So this is a spirit, actually, every relationship you've ever had and ever will have with another human is a spiritual training class. If you know that going into relationships, you're going to look at them very different. It's like attending different lecture series or taking a different course study with a different person every time. So you've been doing this course study about people who are emotionally unavailable for you. And so now you've attracted another one. You've attracted another one because there's still something in people who are emotionally unavailable for you coming up in your energy where you're vibrating at a frequency that matches that in order to have it in your experience. Does that make sense to you?
Yes, it does. That makes a lot more sense.
Okay. All right, cool. So while you're having this interaction, and maybe it might not even be a physical interaction or nothing like that. I don't see you going into like some crazy relationship. I don't see that here in these cards. But I see you looking at what has happened up until now and what continues to unfold there. And you don't have to have the answers, but it's like asking the question, what is it in me that I need to see? Why do I keep attracting to me these ones who are emotionally unavailable? Okay, because there's something in you. So to help you along with this process, what is it in you that keeps you a vibrational match? So there's something you're holding on to in your own energy that's keeping you at a vibrational match to emotionally unavailable people. What is it? The 10 of materials. It comes from your family. Did you have an experience with emotionally unattached family members, like parents that weren't available emotionally or physically? Did you have problems with people who should have loved you but were not available or were not there? Because if you did, that's something that this links to. Or did you have that wholesome family and now you're feeling separate from it and looking to recreate that? Which of those two perspectives resonates more with you?
They definitely weren't wholesome.
Mm-hmm. All right. So let me just ask, did you have both of the parents in the home when you were a child?
No.
Yeah, because I feel like what I heard was it around 5 years old or something like that when somebody left? Because it's 55, something big came up around 5 years old in your vibration. You probably don't even fucking remember. A lot of people, I don't know if you do, but something came up and they're showing me around 5 years old that put a tone in you, a frequency of people who say they love you are really actually mean in some type of way. So in my case, this could be like, when I was 5 years old and my daddy beat the shit out of us, but then told us how much he loved us. You know what I'm saying? It's something like that. Or they left, but, they said, oh, I love you, but okay, bye. And then you never saw them again. It's something like that. Is that vibrating at all? Is that making sense?
I don't really remember.
Okay. All right. So it definitely relates to family. It definitely relates to your childhood. And like I said, that came through. You probably don't even remember this. Yeah. It definitely relates to family and ideas of family unity. So with that being said, let's ask now with the next card, If that's where it's coming from, your family background, what is it in your power to do right now? And we're just going to take the card off the top to help you to move this energy so that you can be a vibrational match for people who are emotionally available and ready for you. Okay. In other words, you got to be emotionally available and ready. And so do they at the same time. Because you're attracting people who are not emotionally available and ready, somewhere in you, you're not emotionally available and ready. Do you have fears about opening up and you might get hurt? Do you have fears that they're going to have multiple people around them and there's a big competition to get somebody's attention? Because that's what I'm seeing here.
I feel like, I mean, yeah, I guess. I don't want to be in competition with nobody.
Mm-hmm. All right. So when I ask people what kind of love, what kind of partner do they want? What do you want in your life? Immediately people go into, well, I don't want. So I feel like you might fall in line with that. Like, well, I don't want somebody who is going to be entertaining other people. I don't want somebody who's going to cheat. I don't want somebody who's going to lie. I don't want somebody who's going to. It would be beneficial for you to lose that from your vocabulary. I don't want somebody who's going to replace, anytime you fix your mouth to say, I don't want somebody who's going to, you want to replace that with, I would love a partner who, and fill in that blank. So that's one actual thing you can do in your life to help you attract what you're looking for, what you truly desire. So it's with the 5 of inspiration energy, it is a 5 of wands. And 5 of wands, this is about strength training. So you're here strength training in how you think. And people say, but I know what I meant. And you know, that's not what I meant. They tell me this all the time. I understand that that's not what you meant, but it doesn't change the spell that you cast because words are powerful. So you might have meant, well, you know, I wanted somebody who's honest and reliable and emotionally available when I said I don't want somebody who's emotionally unavailable and got other people on the side, or somebody who cheats. I don't want that. So, you know, that's what I meant. Okay, I know that's what you meant, but the universe, the planet that we live on, picks up on the image in your head. So the image in your head when you're saying what you don't want is exactly what you don't want. And it's like, at one point I was even receiving it this way. The universe speaks in nouns. They don't care about come here or go there. It's just, what is the image you're generating? What is the subject matter you're talking about? And so what you don't want is definitely strong. And when you picture that enough to fix your thought or your words to say it, then that's the signal that you're sending. Therefore, even though you're saying you don't want it, the very fact that your mind is going there, your words are going there, and your feelings are going there, it's exactly what we attract. So there's some strong guidance here, and I still have your guidance card right here to help you overcome this situation where you've been attracting from your childhood issue, family issues, right? But the guidance definitely is to begin to get some mastery over the thoughts, to make sure, and the words, especially in words with friends or whatever, to be more oriented specifically to what you do want, so that you can generate that image in your head, so that you can send that signal out to spirit. Because the thoughts in your mind are like an antenna tower for energy. And the spirit in the universe is responding to that. The antenna in your mind sends and receives the signal like a radio tower. And so every time you say, I don't want, then that's the signal that's going out. That image that you're thinking of when you say, I don't want, is exactly what you send out to the universe. And that's what you're going to get back. So we want to orient. And this is a practice, and you're going to catch yourself slip up a little here and slip up a little there. But with practice and continued practice, you're going to begin to get it before you can even fully formulate the thought, before you can ever get a word out. And that's the goal. And before you know it, you'll have a new natural way of thinking and speaking about things in your life. So there's a whole reprogramming here. And however old you are, honey, you need to be patient with yourself because it took you that many years to learn how to see, think, and speak the way you do now. And we're making a life change to open up the possibilities for you, but it's going to require a change of that many years of pattern behavior in your life. Okay. So first off, before I read this card, did that all make sense to you, or do you need me to explain anything more on that?
No, it makes sense.
All right. So the guidance for you, the Ace of Materials. I freaking love this. It's awesome. So the battles within go back to childhood. You don't even really remember these things. Okay, so there's a strong vibration of where you are now, because this always looks like, you know how you get on the maps and you can put a marker on a point. So there's the energy here of dropping a new pin marking point of I am here now. Okay, but the Ace of Materials, fresh new beginning. So I'm getting guided to do a little bit of energy work with you. So I'm going to ask you a question. And then if you agree, give your audible yes, yes out loud. And we're going to move some energy for you. Okay. So speaking to your higher self, and then for the others that are viewing, every time I cast these spells and I do this energy moving work here on the channel, what you need to know right now, Rochna, and what the tribe who's watching needs to understand is when I ask this question, I'm actually asking your higher self, your spiritual body, your verbal self is a conscious acceptance of the magic that's happening there. Okay. So from this day forward, I'm in a new energy. I attract only beautiful things that blossom fully for me. I am all that I need, and anything that I desire is not true because I have everything that I need within me. And the more I own that, the more I know that, the more I vibe with that, the more that everything else shows up as well. And this is the consciousness that replaces everything from my family history, everything from my past lives, everything from my genealogy, starting right now. And this energy is dominant for me in all time, space, and dimensions. I am free to enjoy my life, liberated, and able to attract from who and what I am now in my place of power, knowing I am the source. And anything that doesn't allow that, would you like to uncreate and destroy right now? Yes, yes?
Yes, yes.
Oh, shit, that's a strong... I feel like my crown is just lifting me up like that. Oh, that's powerful. Yeah, I love that. Okay. Oh, it's still going. Okay. So I know this might look really silly on the camera, but what happens when I do these spell castings is I literally have this surge of energy that comes through me, and I can just feel like my energy light up, and it's wild. So anyways, that was very strong, very powerful. Okay. So in regards to this situation with this girl in the physical, okay, first off, transmit back to this. So transmitting the energy of family past that has unfolded into your romantic life of emotionally unattached partners. I hear you're looking for them to fulfill some sort of resource for you. You have to understand that it is all coming from you. So the reason why they're showing up emotionally unavailable has a lot to do with you being emotionally unavailable for yourself. But you say, Melinda, that's bullshit. I can't run away from how I fucking feel. Yes, the fuck you can, and you do it all the time. You do it all the time because you're not willing to look at those hard feelings. You're not willing to look at the difficult thing. It's kind of like the introduction to the Tarot in the Shadows, where I like, in this episode, we're going to talk about the shit you don't want to talk about, the shit you don't like, and the stuff like that, all the triggering stuff. There's a need for you to acknowledge when you're there and know, I'm here, and know that there's something that can be done about it. Even if you don't know what to do about it, then that's where you pose that question to the universe. How can I transmute this? Start off, though, with, is this mine? And see, the core energy of what's happening in your romantic connections is this 5 of emotions, which is a need to release and accept the fact that new love is available for you. There's always more love available for you. There's always more love available for you, and not looking at the loss. So in some sort of way, you have this, whether it's conscious or unconscious, habit of looking at love that's been lost. Oh no, they remind me of, it's like, you remind me of that one and that shit didn't work. Or I hope they're not like that. I hope you're not like my ex. It's that kind of a vibe, whether that is you literally consciously, mentally doing this and having a self-conversation like this, or that's kind of what's running in the back of your mind because it's always been that way. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. So there is a guidance here for you to understand that in order to see somebody who can see you for all the loveliness and all the beauty and come to the table with that, there's a need for you to accept some of your own emotions. And even where I hear it's okay that I've been hurt. You know what? Yeah, I've been hurt. I have some hurt feelings. I'm not running from them. That's the truth. But you know what? If I can face these emotions and let them flow, emotion, energy, and motion, then I'll be able to accept some new stuff in too. But until I feel these emotions that I've been trying to repress, they will be within me. So you can only let them out to let them get out of your energy. You got to let them out. And to let emotions out, you have to fucking feel them. I learned a long time ago, the emotions go out the same way they came in, by feeling them. So can you, when I'm talking about repressed emotions, things you don't want to look at from your past, some sort of hurt, some sort of pain, and when it starts to come up, you immediately, you're like, fuck this, I need a drink, or I'm going to go put on the TV, or I don't want to think about this. I'm going, something like that. Is there something that's been pressing on you for a long time that you can identify immediately? Or is this or is this something that might be deeper, that is maybe subconscious?
I feel like I've been hurt a lot, so I don't even know.
Do you find yourself sitting there remembering the experiences where you were hurt a lot?
Yeah.
That's the problem. That is a problem. That's going to continue to attract more hurt a lot energy. I heard a baby on the phone earlier. Is there a beautiful baby that you love that maybe ain't done a lot of shit to hurt you?
You said a baby?
I thought I heard a baby.
I have a son.
Okay. Has your baby hurt you like these other people have hurt you? No.
I guess a little emotionally.
That's funny. Okay. So maybe not even the baby will work. For me, babies work. That's why I asked. Okay. What we're looking for with you, what I'm trying to coach you to find, what Spirit is guiding me to work with you on, is we need to find that point of attraction. Something you can look at. Something you can think of. See, for me, if I start thinking about anybody who hurt me, I can think about my grandchildren, and I don't feel hurt by them. I don't feel that same type of pain. I don't have those experiences with my grandchildren. They might be little pains in the ass every once in a while, whatever, but it's different. There's no hurt. They've never hurt me. You know what I'm saying? So what I'm looking for you is a pivoting point, because you're now at a point where it's important to shift. When you're sitting there and you're thinking about the different ones and all the hurts that you've been through, how can we, okay, thank you. They come through. This is what needs to happen, they said. What needs to happen is, for each of those things that's coming up, the pivoting point is this. Yeah, that person was I'm a hypothetical conversation in your head while you're sitting there thinking, oh, that person was such a douchebag. They really did me wrong. But you know what? And this is the pivoting point. This is what they want to teach you to do. But you know what? We did have some good times. And you know what? I'm just going to leave it there. There were some good experiences. Next time I'll stop when the good experiences stop. It's like that. So anybody who ever had the opportunity to hurt you, there was something there good enough to get you wrapped in. Do you agree?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. So it's finding appreciation, even though it turned out to be another hurtful situation, finding appreciation for the highlights that got you there. If we could get you to focus every time this string of lovers comes up in your mind about all the bullshit they went through, and then end the thought on, but I really enjoyed this about our connection. We had such a good time together. We used to connect so well together. That ended on the high point of the connection. Don't leave it on the low point of the connection, because the purpose of the connection was for the high point. The purpose of the connection was for you to experience what you didn't appreciate and what you did appreciate. So they're saying, if we could find it when you start going through these ideas, replaying of all the hurts, to leave it in a higher vibration by, this is what I really appreciated about that connection. Because at the end of the day, if we ain't open to having the experience, knowing that, hey, we might get hurt somewhere along the way, we ain't gonna never have the love either. We're never gonna have those joys either. So saying no to being hurt is also saying no to having the positive experiences. Does that make sense to you?
Saying no to being hurt. Yeah, I guess that's like what really stood out to me.
Okay. Yeah, because it's like, people are always going to be their own selves. Now, this is not saying you should stay in a situation where you're repeatedly being hurt. Nothing changes. It's all bad all the time. That's not what they're saying. If you're being physically abused, we're not promoting sticking around those situations. But what we are saying is, in interpersonal relationships, there's always going to be some point where there's a rub between you and any other human. So you would like skip all the loving, happy, joyful experiences if you said, well, I don't ever want to be hurt again. Some people do that. And you know what? They pass up every opportunity for love that comes their way for fear of being hurt again. So let me ask you this. Are you actually okay right now? Like, you're okay. There's actually not anything wrong with you right now. If you really stop and think about it, you're okay. Is that true?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
If that's true, then no matter what you've been through, the pains and the hurts you've endured, you're still okay right now. It means you got through all that stuff and you're still okay right now. In some of these relationships, you learned things about yourself. Did you learn how to speak up in some relationships and ask for what you need or assert boundaries? Did you learn what you wanted at least? Maybe you're still working on that, to learn to ask for your needs to be met and assert boundaries. Did you learn what you don't want? Because in learning what you don't want, it helps you identify what you do want. If you had to go through all these experiences in order to be in harmony and aware of what you do want in relationships, in order to focus on those things, are all the relationships you've been through then worth it? Because they're a part of formulating the relationship you actually do want. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Does that feel, so far what we've said, does it feel helpful? Does it make it feel a little bit lighter at all for you?
Yeah, I definitely feel lighter. I feel like I have a little more clarity.
Okay, good. So in every connection you ever have from the entire human experience, there are things we don't like about them and things that we love about them. Main messages for you about your interpersonal relationships is, what do I love? What did I love about this experience? And go more into that in the memories, in the ideas, as you play with what you're attracting. And anytime a hurtful memory comes up about somebody from the past, doing that is going to help you, because what it's actually doing is it's like gas for the new relationship. You see, your thoughts now are like gas for the new relationship. They're fueling the new relationship that's coming in for you. So it's important for you to, even if an ugly memory comes up, leave it on a high point, because this is also a fact about that relationship. Yeah, it might have ended up because they were a douchebag cheater at the end of the day. But hey, I really had fun. That person really knew how to dance. I'm so glad that I know how much I appreciate from that experience, how much a partner who knows how to dance, how good that feels to me. Do you think that you can do that with these things that come up in your future?
Yeah, I feel like I kind of already am. Like,
okay,
just
good.
Having a conversation, I'm like, all these memories are flooding.
Good. And so if you're anywhere where you're already doing that, then this is just like, first off, it's confirmation to keep doing that, because maybe the part that you needed to understand is every time you're doing that, it's fueling the new relationships. You know what I'm saying? It's fueling the new connection that's coming in for you. You're in an emotional structuring phase with this 5 of emotions. And so it's definitely letting me know that anywhere where you're doing that, you're creating new synaptic patternings for yourself. Do you know what synaptic patterns are?
No.
Okay, so synaptic patterns are basically the electrical impulses that connect in the brain. And you could do a little bit more research about this if you want to on your own. But where you do anything, blinking sets off a synaptic pattern. Crying sets off a synaptic pattern. And anything that's related to that is always going to fire off those synaptic patternings. So what you're doing every time you're focusing positively about an experience that you could call it good or bad, you could decide that it was a blessing or a curse. You could decide that it was good or bad in your experience. And every time you're choosing to leave it in a positive place, you're putting a new synaptic pattern to what you're choosing. So it's like you have to build that electrical impulse in your brain stronger. And that's what you're doing. Now, another thing that'll help you with this is literally just blessing everything in your life. Literally. Oh man, I love this toothbrush. This toothbrush feels good on my gums and my teeth. I'm so glad I got a toothbrush. Imagine them people that didn't have a toothbrush. I'm glad I got a toothbrush. I'm talking stupid, ridiculous, mundane shit. I'm so glad I can walk in this house and flip on this light. And I'm so appreciative of the fact that there's electricity during my time. And I just got to flip on the switch of a light. I'm so glad that this toilet flushes. I ain't got to go dig no holes or sit on the dirt or none of that junk. I just push a button and boom, it flushes and it goes away. Oh, and I heard, that's another technique you can use. If a low vibrational experience or thought continues to, I'm hearing, plague your mind, you can write that down, rip it in little pieces and flush it. And no, just like, because there's something awesome about the toilet in our society, in our time. We know that what flushes down that toilet, you're never going to see it again. So you can use that knowing that is so solid in your conscious and your subconscious to help flush out any ideas that you're having a hard time getting rid of. Does that make sense and sound like something you can do?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so there's that. Now, I want to touch on your psychic ability a little bit here now. So what is a message for Rochna about her psychic abilities? The moon, girl, you couldn't get a better card when we talk about psychic abilities. The moon is all about your intuition. And we are in full moon in Leo energy right now. So, do you happen to know where Leo is in your birth chart?
No.
Okay. So a little bit of self-study. what house is Leo in on your birth chart. There's something there for you because this reading is coming through for you on the full moon in Leo. Also, your intuitive abilities are, there's still some clutter surrounding it, I'm getting, because with the moon, it's right now it's giving me the idea of, trying to take a walk in the moonlight. You really need to watch your step because, sometimes you might not see something that's there in the moonlight. So there is more to your intuition than meets the eye. And it's like your intuition is training you. So intuition, from my experience, and they're saying too that it is true for you too, is being trained through your everyday experience, through your everyday waking life. I knew I should have did. I had the feeling I forgot something. I knew it was going to be there. I was just thinking of you, or something like that. From my experience, what they're giving me to draw this off of, you probably know that I do nails by now, and my intuition was highly trained through the nail tech experience, in the sense of, I'll be doing this girl's nails exactly the way she asked for them, and my intuition would be like, she don't like it. Ask her if she don't like the shape. Ask her if she don't like the color. And I didn't fucking listen. And do you know how many times I had to redo nails because I didn't listen? And every time that would happen, my intuition was teaching me. My psychic powers were awakening, but I didn't know. And what sealed the deal for me to hear the voice of spirit a lot clearer, this lady, at one point I was very close friends with her daughter, but at this point I wasn't. And my intuition, when she sat down at my nail table, said, ask her if there's any new children in the family. And in my head, I'm like, that's a weird fucking question. Why would I ask that? That's just weird. And it's like, as soon as I finish having this conversation, it's like 3 seconds later. So I heard the question, but 1, 2, 3, bam. She goes, by the way, Nani is pregnant. I'm like, what? The girl that I used to be friends with was pregnant. So I was like, shit, if I would have asked her that question, I would have known it before she told me. I did know it before she told me. I was guided to ask her the question for a reason, because she would have seen about my own abilities, and I would have seen about my own abilities. In other words, things are going to happen in your life. You'll feel an impulse to ask. You'll feel an impulse to say. You'll get an impulse of knowing, and it's your intuitive voice that's teaching you. So begin to pay more attention to that, because what it's doing is it's giving you a clearer ear to what spirit sounds like inside of you. And they're saying it's always a very soft, gentle whisper, which is why it's so easy for you, for us overall, to dismiss it, pass it off as, what the fuck was, that's a weird thought, shit like that. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So, like, should I guess, listen?
Well, you should, but you should listen with the open mind that it might not be what you think it's going to be. For example, in this connection with this girl that's been on your mind, you have this intense draw to her, right? So immediately you start thinking romance and roses and candy and all the sweet stuff. And shoot, this might really be it. Do you vibe with that? Does that sound right?
Yeah.
Okay. So understand that there is a reason for these callings on your soul. Be willing to investigate them, but understand that it's not always what your human mind thinks it's for. For example, in this case with this girl, this is something about emotional restructuring. So this girl, I really feel like, is here to help you identify something in yourself about why you keep choosing people that's emotionally unavailable. There is a calling on your spirit. If we could learn to attach that feeling that we feel when we're drawn to somebody to, oh, God said there's some sort of purpose in this connection for me, not necessarily this is my love. I might be in love. I might fall in love with this person, because that's what we always do as humans. We're like, oh, I might fall in love with them. And the reason why I do that is because God feels like love. So when God is drawing us to something, it feels like love. Sometimes it's just for a friendship. Sometimes it's just for one conversation. Sometimes it's so you could hear some bullshit so that way you could have the opportunity to hear your intuition tell you, run the other way, bitch. Don't go towards this no more. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So we want to begin to remove the idea that that calling on our heart means this is our forever, this is my next lover. We just want to get rid of that whole idea. Sometimes it might be, but all the time it will not be. It's not always that. Many times it's just a momentary experience, but it's necessary. It's like if you imagine that life is this long ass fucking cross-country journey from New York to California. That feeling of spirit is guiding you on the next step to get you closer to where you're going. It doesn't mean you're going to stay there, though.
You said New York, and I'm from New York, which is very strange.
Tell me more.
I'm from New York, and I just came back from New York, too.
Okay. And where do you live now? Where did you come back to?
Texas.
In Texas. Okay. All right. So, yeah, there's definitely something there about the New York energy. And then now they're showing me all these recent readings that I've done on the channel, which you've been watching about New York. And every time I sang that song. So there's definitely been some stuff in those readings for you that was vibing, and you were on point wherever you identified those feelings in yourself of resonance. So your intuition is training you, and understanding that calling on your soul is just that. It's a calling on your soul. It doesn't mean it's your final destination. That is a strong part of this message that we got to get down into our heart, because when we get that, we know that whatever God brought us here for, we're going to be fine. Just like today, you've been through, girl, you could sit up here and you could probably take longer than this show to tell me about all the bullshit you done been through in your life that has hurt you, disrespectful people that didn't appreciate you, didn't do you right. We could fill up a whole show about that shit. But the fact of the matter is, we didn't stay there, and we're okay today. And if we did see what was meant for us to see about ourselves, about owning our power in those connections, then they will go away. So you've been attracting emotionally unavailable people for some time now, and there's still something you need to see in that. I really get the sense of what one thing that they want you to see is it's not about who's around you so much as it is about how much you are confident in you, and understanding that anybody else is like a cherry on top. You are the fucking cake though, baby. You are the treasure. You are the Ace of Pentacles. You are the golden opportunity, and you are the value. And if they can't see that, the card that I made on the handmade oracles that says, what's for you is really fucking for you, is coming out so strong in my mind. If they're for you, they'll really be fucking for you. If they're not for you and they're showing that to you, then recognizing that you are the treasure, you are the golden opportunity, you are the value, you'll let those things go. You won't continue to sit there and battle yourself and try to get them, try to prove to them, trying to help them to see all you can bring to their life and all you do and all you be. That's not your job. If they ain't got the eyes to see who and what you are, you ain't got no reason why you need to sit up in that energy. But that's why you keep attracting that energy, because where's your get up and go for what you're feeling and you're knowing for yourself that you truly want? And where are you making yourself sit in energies that don't acknowledge or honor who and what you are? Because I hear when you're with somebody, you appreciate them for who and what they are, but others aren't coming with that same vibe towards you, and they're cold and emotionally unavailable. But here you are emotionally available. So there's something about you in your own energy being all that you can be, and letting that be the most important thing. And anybody that comes in like a cherry on top of that, cool. But if they're not a cherry on top of that, if they're the way they're showing me, if they're a lighter that's trying to melt your ice cream that you are, get rid of them. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Your intuition is guiding you for this. That's one thing important. Your intuition is waking up to levels that you haven't been accepting of before. It's always been there. You ain't accepted it. Just like you didn't accept certain truths about people when you first got red flags and you stayed. There are certain parts of your intuition been speaking, but you haven't accepted it. But you're ready. You're ready to begin to accept it more and more. So the voice of your intuition is going to get a lot more clearer right now. And it's going to help draw you through anything that you come in contact with. Anything that is drawn to you. It is wise right now for you to investigate it, but don't investigate it from the point of, this is my final destination. This is where I'm going. This is a phase of my journey. This is the next step to get me where I'm going. Is coming through very important there. Something else about your intuition, the Hanged Muse. Yeah, a different perspective. They're saying, taking time. Yeah, and the way these cards are showing up here. So the conscious mind having a different perspective about the feelings that you're having, a different lookout upon the feelings that you're having as a guidance. So just because you're drawn to something doesn't mean you're forever. It doesn't mean it's going to stay with you. It does mean that there's something of value for you to realize in it, or a lot of times I said you be drawn into experiences just to walk away, and somebody says, what the fuck would I want to be drawn into experiences just to walk away from them? Because that's how you get real solid in your thank you, in your boundaries, in your standards, in your self-worth. See, you don't know how to set and honor boundaries, and you can't if you don't have the opportunity to do it. You're never going to get stronger if you don't have weights to carry. These opportunities present you the spiritual weight to create that spiritual muscle. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it really does.
Okay, good. That feels really good. That feels like a whole shift for you. That feels really good, like a whole shift. So, emotional guidance system. If you're being drawn to it, there's a purpose in it for you. Allow that purpose to unfold. Know that when you get on the other side of this, no matter what it looks like, you're going to be fine because you done been through some other shit and you were fine. You're going to be just fine. If God brought you to it, God going to get you through it. Is a saying that they have a lot in the church, and it's true for you here today as well. So I want to pull a whole nother deck. Do you have any questions about anything we talked about so far?
No, I just know I'm gonna dissect this video so much.
Good. That's why I was excited that you said we could do a live conversation, because I would if I was on the other side, that's what I would do. Excuse me, sorry, I got to blow my nose. So for me, it's been years and it stopped for a while, but it kicked up really strong when I made some powerful shifts in my life. That whenever I'm doing spiritual work, it looks like allergies, or it looks like I have a cold or something like that. But I get this drainage. And another thing that happened with me is when I really start making powerful changes, sometimes I'll get this weird ass headache. I really don't get headaches, but it's very few and far in between. And then my spirit will tell me, well, it's because you were doing this. It's because you were doing that. So if you start getting weird things that you're not used to with your body, okay, if you've been following the show, then you know I recently had some goings on involving my niece. And the day I found some solutions surrounding that, I had all of a sudden, on my back, all this upper area was so fucking sore. Like I had been lifting weights and shit like crazy. I don't go to the gym. My gym is the dance floor, and I hadn't been down. So I'm saying all that to let you know, as you're changing your synaptic patternings, as you're being more in tune with your spiritual voice, your inner voice. There could be some physical repercussions. It's okay to take ibuprofen. It's okay to use some aspirin cream, lidocaine spray to calm that pain. But if you get weird shit happening with your physical body, a lot of times it's going to have more to do with the spiritual shift, because the physical is only a side effect of the spiritual. See, spirit is not always physical, but physical is always because of spiritual. Physical can't exist without spiritual. So if you start to have some physical side effects from the spiritual changes, your intuition is going to give you that hint. And no, it's not fucking crazy. It ain't nothing wrong. Don't start getting doctors to run tests on you and shit. Okay? So they want you to know that moving forward, because there is going to be something coming up for you. You might even have a dream to let you know. Before I started having this drainage, and this was probably about 5 or 6 years ago that it started, I had the weirdest, shortest little dream before I woke up. And it was, I had a pimple right there. What's that position, people? That's the third eye, right, baby? So I had a pimple right there, and it was a big fucking pimple. And in my dream, I went to the mirror and I went like this, and it's like I could see it huge right here, and I could see pus swirling in it. It was just full of pus. And in my dream, I went like this. I was about to pop that bitch, and then I woke up. And then that was around the time where this drainage started coming from me. And I'm going to tell you something. I might blow my nose 15 times during a show, and then the rest of my day, I'll be fucking fine. It's linked to my spiritual work. So sometimes you could have some physical side effects of the spiritual work that you're doing. That's fucking awesome. That's the point of it. Shifting your physical reality is best done spiritually anyway, because the spirit is the core, the essence. And that's what you're doing. That's what interests you. If it wasn't true, you wouldn't be part of my channel, and you wouldn't hire me to do your reading. You would just hire somebody who told you, yeah, this person is cold and unattached, and you think that they got a lot of competition going on. They might be seeing other people or whatever. Yeah, they are. And so tell them off and walk away. That would have been the type of reading you would have paid for, but you didn't. You chose me, and I don't ever fucking look at shit so surface. I'm always going to dig deeper. You know that. You've been watching my readings. We dig deep. So there is definitely within you a huge awakening. First off, it's happening for everybody on earth. But for you personally, your intuition has been speaking and is trying to get you to hold on and hear that more clearly. So life is going to continue to present you with experiences to train that voice. So they say before you run and act, pay attention to it. Ask if it's yours, especially where it's low vibrational feelings. Ask if it's yours, because most of the time you'll find that it's not yours. The feelings will move away. If it is yours, how can I transmute this? Because it doesn't feel good, but I know I can feel better. What do I need to do to feel better? You don't have to answer these questions. You have to pay attention. Spirit might put a thought in your mind. They're saying, you'll know it's God speaking to you. You'll know it's divine because it'll come in like a whole box of information in one split second of time. You'll have this whole new knowing. And then as soon as you have that, your human mind will try to rationalize it and attach it to this fact, that fact, the other fact, all these facts that you have in your physical brain, which is merely a computer that's been programmed. And when it can't attach it to that, it starts to try to attach it to any known factors, anything at all. And so you start getting all these, well, it could be this, it could be that. And that's where you get the hemming and hawing and back and forth and the monkey mind shit going on. But you'll know it's God's voice because it's information that was outside of your conscious awareness. It was not in your brain. And all of a sudden it's there. And it's going to take so long. If you were to sit down and try to explain to somebody, it's going to take so long for you to deliver that message and explain to them what you done seen. And they might not even fucking understand it. And you might not even be able to put the words to it. This is how you'll know it's the divine mind. Does that make sense? Do I still have you?
I'm gonna say yes.
Okay. All right. All right. So, all right. So there's another key point for you. The human mind tries to rationalize what it doesn't know, and it feels like an epiphany coming in. And this is the divine voice speaking to you, though. Okay. Filtering
I get epiphanies all the time.
Good. Again, like we said, God's been speaking to you. You just did not understand what the fuck was happening. Is it starting to come together now? Like pieces snapping in place?
Yeah. I feel like, you know, like when you do a puzzle and like you finally find the piece to put it at, like that.
Good. Because that's what you needed to know. That is important for you to understand. Epiphanies, what are epiphanies? Epiphany is like, oh, fuck, I get it now, right? Why do you get it now? Because God gave it to you to fucking get it. It wasn't in your conscious brain. You didn't have this experience. You didn't read a book, watch a movie, or read an article, or hear something. But all of a sudden, you have this amazing knowing. I would be at my nail desk doing nails a lot of times when these epiphanies would come in. And on my desk, I always had paper towels, you know, the little perforated ones. And so when I would have them, I would explain to my clients, it's like, this towel is 1 second, this is second number 2, and this is second number 3. And that little perforated line in between them is how long it takes God to tell me something new. That's a download. When it takes me 30 minutes to explain what I saw in the time between second 1 and second 2, the whole fucking message got delivered, but I can't explain it. It's going to take me 30 minutes to explain it or whatever. I know it's an epiphany. I know it's God speak. I know it's a download. I know this is new information that I didn't have in my brain, but all of a sudden it's there. So with that knowing, I think it's going to really affect your experience a lot differently. Would you agree? Would you agree?
Yeah. Okay,
good. So the 8 of Emotions is at the bottom of the deck. And the 8 of Emotions is a card that talks about mind your own business. I got a lot of the definitions I have for these cards from downloads is what I call them, or epiphany, right? And it also talks about moving on. And in the image, we have an eclipse. Eclipses are powerful changes. They're telling me you've been through a powerful change, and this is all opening up. So this is all opening up energy for you for what's coming in. The tower here below you in the guidance for you is understand that anything that is falling off right now, let it fucking be gone. Their season is over. And now I listened to like a 3-minute recording that came across my YouTube timeline not too long ago. And it's Medea. And she was talking about, y'all got to understand that people are like parts of a tree in your life. She was talking about some of them are leaves. They're going to come and go with the seasons, honey. Some people are like branches. They'll stay for a while, but a strong wind will take them off. Some people are like your roots, though. They'll always be there. So you got to understand, and this correlates to the whole energy of when you got that calling on your spirit. Doesn't mean they ain't going to be here forever. But there are certain ones that are there forever, like our children. You'll always be their mother. And you know what? For somehow this might be important for you to hear. I could put up with different shit from these different women and deal with these different women from my past who still want to hold on to me because they know that I'm the fucking treasure and I'm this and I'm that and whatever. But instead, I say, you know what? If I'm going to choose, I'm going to pick and choose my battles. Is that mine? No, that's not mine. That's theirs. What is mine? Mine is my daughter and my grandchildren. That's mine. I will put up with what the fuck I have to because they are mine. They only exist on this plane because of me. And anywhere where your parents didn't have that mentality has to do with why you've attracted people who are unavailable for you emotionally. But it's happening because you can make changes here. And you are. And you have been. Those changes will take some time to affect the physical experience unless You're completely aligned with it, both consciously and subconsciously. Then they happen like super fast. And that's the goal. So let me get a word of clarity for you real quick about everything we've talked about so far. 2 came out. Reflection. Coming out with joy. So overall guidance for you of everything that we've been, blocks is at the bottom of the deck. Everything that we've been talking about so far, the guidance for you is this. You've learned to identify where energy is blocked, and you identify it because it feels like crap. It's time to flush all that. Choose things that are a reflection of the joy within you. Even in relationships that are long-term and sometimes difficulties come up, you choose them because there's more of a reflection of joy in them, and that's what sustains them. Think about a friend that you've had for so long. You might have even had a disagreement at one point, but you've had this friend for so long, right? Because overall, it's joy when you get together. It's like, oh, fuck, what they gonna say today? Oh, shit, I hope they don't call. I hope they don't show up. It's not like that. Continue to choose the reflection of joy for yourself is what they want to say about that. So before we wrap this up, is I've gone deeply over time for your reading today, which I don't mind at all. I'm so glad that I was able to do this for you. What deck? Okay, so they're telling me to pull for you a card from the Manifest Soulmate Oracle to help guide you in matters of your connections. And then something that's something in your future, coming up in your future. And I'm being guided to use the Pictorial Key Tarot for that. So what can you expect in your future in regards to your connections? Okay. All right. So from the Manifest Soulmate Oracle. Never make permanent decisions on temporary feelings. And what is it? Is a tree? Did we just not talk about a freaking tree? Are they leaves? Are they branches? You're the trunk. Are they roots? What is it? See, the roots nourish you. The roots nourish you. But there are a lot of leaves, honey. You got to understand, a lot of these people are leaves, and they will leave. And that's okay. The bottom of this deck here. You are on your way to meeting your true love. And understanding the comings and the goings and the stayings and the leavings is very important in that for you. The prediction, something coming up for you in your future. Look at this. The Lovers is in reverse. And I feel like this goes back to this person who you were asking about. What's coming up in your near future is realizing that that connection comes in, but you have to make a decision to separate from it. We already told you that, though. Why? I heard why. Because justice, because you're ready to close out a karmic cycle. Okay. The bottom of the deck here is the Queen of Wands, because even though there's passion with somebody, doesn't mean that they're good for you. It doesn't mean, sometimes it's just a lesson, that passion, that fire that you feel for someone. You're understanding that sometimes it's just a lesson to bring the sunflower into your hand. She holds a sunflower in her hand. Sunflowers representing happiness and pure positive joy. And they said in your guidance here, go towards what is a reflection of joy for you. And when it's a gloomy, cloudy day in a field full of sunflowers, you'll find the sunflowers facing one another. Usually they turn and face the sun. So it's like my favorite flower. Perfect. Freaking perfect. All right. I feel like this reading is complete. Do you have any final questions before we close it out?
No, I feel like you answered everything and then some.
All right. Is there anything else you want to say to me or the tribe?
I just want to say thank you. That's it.
Okay.
I'm so excited. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you for choosing me. And that's what we have for you today. So I'll let you go for now. And when you're ready for more, I'll be here. I look forward to working with you again. I'm hearing, yes, we will be working again. You know, it's a coaching process, you know. As you start to identify some of these things from your past, you might need a little bit more coaching, and I'll be ready when you are, honey. Okay. Thank you. And we'll talk soon.
Thank you so much.
All right. Bye now. So if you want a video like this, all about you, all for you, go to my website, make your purchase. We can make it happen. And the awesome part about it is I see Jeremy all up in the comments, baby. I don't know what you've been talking about. I've been channeling like crazy. But this video will be here for her when she needs to come back and watch it. Our conversation is recorded, is permanent, and it can even be beneficial to others. So, go get your purchase in, make it happen. Until next time, sending you so much love, peace, and happiness. Kamsahamnida. Gracias. Later, baby.